Sir, Kalesha, 5-month-old male baby from Elberga, Karnataka, whose informant is mother, reliability good, had came with the complaints of passing pale colored shoes since 1.5 months of age and yellowish discoloration of eyes and skin all over the body since 1.5 months of age. So, coming to history of presenting illness, baby was apparently normal at neonatal period, and at 1.5 month of age, a mother noticed a baby passing pale colored stools. Later, she also noticed a yellowish discoloration of eyes, and discoloration extends to the whole body by 2.5 months of age. There is no history suggesting a waxing and waning episodes and of yellowish discoloration. History of yellowish discoloration of urine is present since 1.5 months of age, associated with staining in the diaper. And there is a history of swelling in umbilicus, approximately size of 2 to 2 centimeter, since neonatal period, which increase in size, which become more prominent while crying, and decreases in size while baby is born. And negative history, there is no history of fever, no history of excessive cry, irritability, refusal of fits, no history of blackish discoloration of stools, no history of bleeding from injection sites, no history of skin color changes suggestive of bleeding diathesis, no history of abdominal distension, no history of loose stools, significant vomiting, no history of constipation, no history of seizures, no history of drowsiness, no history suggestive of deafness. On coming to antenatal history, there is a second degree consanguineous marriage between parents, and mother registered antenatally, received supplements and immunization, and there is no history of fever rashes during the pregnancy. All antenatal scans are normal, and perinatal history, the baby is firstborn baby, full term normal vaginal delivery, baby cried immediately after birth, birth weight is 1.5 kg, child baby admitted in NICU in view of low birth weight, initially started on Palada fridge, later converted to direct breastfeed by the third day of life and discharged on the same day. No history of phototherapy or any other medication like total parental nutrition not given. Child was immunized up to date except oral polio vaccine second and third dose child not received. Baby is currently on supplement drugs in view of the same complaints. No other family members have similar complaints. Families. And summary of the history: 5.5 month old male baby with no significant perinatal events, with history of yellowish discoloration of eyes and body, and passing pale colored stools and dark colored urine since 1.5 months of age, with reducible swelling in umbilicals, with no history suggestive of failure to thrive and liver failure. Probably a obstructive jaundice with umbilical hernia, with a probable etiology of extrahepatic biliary atresia. Second probable diagnosis may be polydipal malformation, and third may be because of genetic causes, including Alagille syndrome or progressive familial intrahepatic cholestasis. Yes, sir. For Alagille syndrome, I asked for the Alagille syndrome child will present with petechiae purpura, and there will be child will be a failure to thrive will be there, and same is the progressive jaundice may be there. But here there is no petechiae purpura, no signs of fetus. But still, the Alagille syndrome will present in neonatal period with like obstructive jaundice. I included as third.
So regarding history, I think I missed swelling in the umbilicus. Was it?
Sir, probably maybe umbilical hernia with maybe coincident. Yes,
No,
sir.
no. Present in summary. Let's give
Yes, sir.
swell. Okay, yeah.
Reducible swelling. No, sir. It's so that I added as a provisional diagnosis. Sir, with history we can't confirm it's a. It is will be a diagnosed evolution and can be diagnosed with histopathological examination. liver biopsy, based on the liver biopsy only we can able to diagnose.
It can be only diagnosed with
Electron microscopy. Yes.
so something which requires something which requires so something like a defect which is only diagnosed with an electron microscope. We will just the history itself we have given in future. There might be other differential diagnosis which will be more common.
Yes, sir. Sir, after the different.
Agree with this. I mean, agree. And
Purely, you have a surgical cause for the child injuries. So going by incidence
childhood
and the numbers, we would need to consider
going by
as
incidence
a found
and the
fact,
numbers,
not by
other medical
student become to any
as a
newness of new
not by student exclusion, we come to
testing
leave away so many
related to this. So we definitely need to
testing
consider
same territories here. So you definitely
infectious causes.
hepatitis, infection.
Before you come
Cystic
to
fiber,
PFIC,
before you come into PFIC and Alagale syndrome.
part of your
So part of your
I
also I agree, but if
only this then
only this purely for us, looking for
Basically, you are deciding that it is a surgical cause. You are labeled it as a anesthesia and you already planned the surgery.
Sir, no, sir. First, initially based on jaundice. Initially based on jaundice, I suspected medical causes like neonatal hepatitis, any metabolic syndromes, and surgical causes of insipid bile syndrome and everything. But medical causes like metabolic syndrome, the child will.
before the clinical exam, what kind of rule out there? Before you consider something like don't do it in summer. Once you done your clinical examination, there could be some pointers for other general examination. There will be some pointers for some other condition.
condition.
So it could be syndrome, consequence. Now
You're saying there is applicable.
so during history summary, yes, child will be possible causes which is very specific on history. Once you are guided by your paper sources,
We already decided.
how sure that you are ruled out medical then how sure that you are ruled out all medical problems which is causing
Yes.
mimicking intelligence. Yes. How sure history wise you are not considering. No, history don't have any consideration.
No, sir.
I
I asked for failure to thrive or
hypothyroidism.
hypothyroidism, constipation, I asked to
Molecular is there, plant is there.
Yes. And
Yeah, then you don't have an idea what percentage of conjugated bilirubin is there, what percentage of unconjugated. May look like eye color during beta students, so many conditions which can mimic. So many times we do RH drop 20 gram and sometimes it goes up. Not that far, that is mimicking, and there are overlapping conditions. The history, if you are not giving a scope of any discussion for medical, that means you are already guided by something. Your mind is closed for some other causes. Not in considering.
I considered for to rule the metabolic causes of the jaundice. So metabolic causes of the metabolic causes causing neonatal jaundice, the child can have failure to thrive and symptoms suggestive hypoglycemic episodes. This will be available. Here the child growth better as well as failure to thrive is not there. Where the child is well developed based on the mother's history. And another thing, in case of hypothyroidism, I asked for history of constipation as well as drowsiness and activities. The child is very active as well as there is no history of constipation, drowsiness. So I ruled out based on this activity. Other causes like
Not considering
Neonatal hepatitis cannot be counts. When you did that, if it turns out that there is an excretion of type with this history, then that you must be.
yes, neonatal hepatitis. Yes, sir.
keep that.
Yes, sir.
Don't close the doors.
Yes.
So it is brought in protocol.
Protocol must.
So as a second diagnosis, what is the immediate second definition for whether it is
Neonatal hepatitis.
Sir, this is the only thing we are not taking. Rest everything is clear percent.
Yes.
You are not in hospital.
Yes. I will add as a differential diagnosis of neonatal hepatitis. So it's the second disease. Yes.
Infective cause.
Metabolic causes like glycogen resistant.
Depending upon the history, the jaundice is starting at 1 age and it is persistent. Progressive jaundice. The neonatal hepatitis now it can start at 3. Progression till it stopped of looking at 90 days. So we continue to see. Some centers we see 5 months, we see 6 months. We need to incorporate. We want complete infectious cause comes always. We don't have any other means to separate it out. The result is the same. This is delayed aging is the end result. It's not a cause. It's a result of some factors. So we are talking the end result first as a global diagnosis. This is the result. What is the cause? We have to go because second thing, also most babies they may have a physiological jaundice, which may persist like a prolonged physiological jaundice, may extend into this sort of a prolonged jaundice. There are many colors. Like for example, there is this also what happened physiological jaundice. So then how is that? So some other let's say police assist syndromes. Yes, also may extend. National jaundice may also extend as well. Some baby has sepsis. They may have looking like hospital jaundice.
Yes.
They will translate up to jaundice, looking like pictures. So, but you have excluded sepsis and all those because of the issues.
Yes, sir.
Recurring BPN,
Yes.
prolonged all those things happen. So unlikely. But you also should consider possibly even if you are very clear that HB and political confirmations will it be
No, I'm not clear, sir. That way I done provisional diagnosis.
So possibly initially obstructive jaundice features, age stages, thriving, well thriving baby. Neonatal hepatitis are not thriving well.
Yes.
Most of the hepatitis are not thriving well.
Yes.
Well thriving, good baby thriving well.
Yes.
So late jaundice in this feature. Why first possibility HB? If you consider neonatal hepatitis, yes, possibly BB unless that's why we are keeping that out of the option. Yes, why do you consider protocol malformation?
Sir, one is according to history, there is a pale color stools are there. So that
Cholangitis features are there.
Sir,
Cholangitis features are there.
no, not there is no cholangitis. That way, I put as a second degree compared to biliary.
Having seen so many children with choledochal malformation and managed or operated also. So I think if you're bringing that for persistent now in this, it's not that it doesn't happen. There are also rare. Missing out on missing out on common causes.
Causes
We
which
need
you
to
need to mention.
So choledochal malformation
Very way back.
So
So
HBS
HBS,
is it
probably
hepatitis,
hepatitis, genetic process. We don't see cystic fibrosis and all this.
Yes. If we had a history of alternately there is some swelling in the quota, would you consider quota as possible?
Yes.
Most of the alternative kinds are bigger now. They don't pick up anything.
Yes.
I mean, there is some, if somebody is giving you the history, maybe a diagnosis with some cyst in around the liver, you can consider that.
Yes, sir. Sir, here history of the pain color is still, sir. Still we need to consider urinary hepatitis as a second class.
Any unit definitely there will be pain cholesterol.
Yes, sir.
High cholesterol. In
Yes.
unit hepatitis also there will be pain cholesterol. High cholesterol. That's why it's so difficult to diagnose with hepatitis. Yeah. That's why people prepare approach.
Yes.
Do biopsy. Even biopsy also they want a proper liver pathological to those infrastructural features and differentiate between these two.
Yes, sir.
So this there's always one. So earlier we used to say is a one, two ends of the spectrum. The spectrum is there, so this is an hepatitis. When you start merging them, what are people want like? When you have clear picture, what is the spectrum?
Yes.
And there is indifferentiated picture, you are like. It means you really,
History of medical cannulation.
No, sir. In NICU, apart from low birth weight history, there is no other history of prolonged condition, no history of and established weight very easily in 50 days. Only that 3 years of admission in view of low birth weight.
What sir said was the spectrum.
Yes, sir.
So that spectrum, for us, they used to teach us as infantile obstructive cholangiopathy, IOC.
Yes.
Infantile obstructive cholangiopathy had a spectrum where one end of the spectrum was urinary hepatitis, other end was. So it was so difficult. So that's why initially, when you say this, already you are diagnosed that surgical.
No, it's provisional diagnosis. Yes.
So you have not even considered medical process. That's why the discussion started with this.
Yes, sir.
So this is an objection because you already diagnosed. Further variants of the
So I will consider second TT as neonatal hepatitis. Sir, on coming to general examination, baby is conscious, alert, active. Weakness is present involving eyes, hands, and lower limbs. There is no pallor, no cyanosis, no clubbing, no lymphadenopathy, no pedal edema. Coming to vital signs, heart rate is 138 per minute, where pulse respiratory rate is 28 per minute. And yes,
Sridhar,
yes,
Sridhar,
yes, sir.
when there is icterus, is it easy to diagnose pallor? Can you diagnose pallor when there is icterus?
Sir, it's in interest.
Where will you assess pallor when there is icterus? Is it possible?
Sir, we can assess in the lower palpebral conjunctiva, where we can diagnose pallor in the presence of icterus.
You can, is it?
Sir,
You can diagnose pallor in the lower palpebral conjunctiva.
sir, it is difficult because of
Yeah. Okay.
yes,
Fine.
sir, can I proceed, sir?
Please go ahead. Please go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. Heart rate is 138 per minute. Respiratory rate is 28 per minute. Capillary refilling time is less than 3 seconds. Temperature is afebrile. Weight of the child is 4.6 kilogram, where length is 61 centimeter. Neck circumference is 40 centimeter, with chest circumference is 38 centimeter. Anthropometric measurements. Head to
What is the expected anthropometric measurement at this point of time?
Sir, by 6 months the weight should be doubled of birth weight. In case if so 1.5 kg birth weight is normal to the age, and height will be nearly half of the nearly.
No, you should assume birth weight to be a full-term normal birth weight.
Yes, sir.
Then it will double at around 5 months of age. Okay, so normally this baby should have been 5 kg at 5 months of age. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree?
Sir, yes, sir. If the child birth weight, it should be doubled by the age of 6 months, sir.
Birth weight you should assume as full term normal birth weight, not
Yes,
the
sir.
birth weight which the baby actually had. Baby should catch up the weight. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Sir, and height will be normal height is around 50 centimeter at the full term baby, and it will reach nearly of 75 centimeter by the end of 1 year. So by the end of 6 months, it will be reach up to 65 centimeters, sir. So considering 5 month baby, 61 centimeter height length is also normal.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
head circumference normal.
Suppose they give you that growth centile chart and you plot these things. Do you where will you feel these things come? Will it come in that band?
It will come between third to 90.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Will come within?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Will come within that band?
Sir,
Will it come within that band? No. When you proudly present your anthropometric findings, you should be very certain of certain things.
yes, sir.
Like what is the weight at this point of time? What is the length? What is the head circumference?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what will the graph show? Where will the child fall in this centile when it comes
Yes.
to that graph? So
Yes, sir.
all these things you must know.
Yes,
Because many pediatric surgeons are aware of these things, your examiners. Okay.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it is good to be aware. As a clinician, it is good to be aware of it. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I will proceed, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, toe examination. Sir, it's not, there is no suggestive of syndromic features, and there is no signs suggestive of ecchymosis petechiae. And coming to abdominal examination, inspection, abdomen is protuberant. There is a swelling of size 2 into 2 centimeter approximately present at the umbilical region, which becomes prominent when the baby is crying and reduced in size when the baby is calm. And there is no visible dilated veins. There is no ecchymosis. Flanks are free. Hernial orifice are free. Scrotum is normal. And coming to palpation, abdomen is soft, non-tender. There is no local rise in temperature. Reducible swelling present in the umbilical region of size 2 into 2 centimeter with defect in the abdominal wall which is approximately 1 centimeter. And there is no other mass palpable in the abdomen. An examination of liver. Lower border of liver is palpable. Lower margin of liver is palpable, which is 2 centimeter below the right subcostal margin at the mid-clavicular line, where along with the percussion, the liver span is found to be length of 6 centimeter at the mid-clavicular line. Surface of the liver is smooth and firm in consistence. Spleen, bilateral kidney is not palpable.
Edge is sharp or rounded? Edge of the liver?
Edge
of the liver is
sharp, sir. It's a regular margin is regular with sharp edges, sir.
Sharp edge. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And when you say describe the how below this thing is, you must say right costal margin, not right subcostal margin. Okay. The area below the costal margin is the subcostal area. Okay.
Yes.
So it is right costal
Right costal,
margin,
yes, sir.
not the right subcostal margin. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
On percussion.
And is the liver tender? Is the liver tender?
No, it's a non-tender, sir.
Okay. Is it pulsatile? Is the liver pulsatile?
Sir, on palpation, it's not pulsatile. It's not pulsatile, non-tender. Surface is smooth and regular, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And it's moving nicely with respiration.
Yes, sir. It's moves with respiration, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Sir, and
Spleen you said is not palpable. Spleen is not palpable, you said.
spleen, kidney, both are not palpable, sir.
Okay.
Percussion, there is a shifting dullness not present. On auscultations, bowel sound are here. There is no
So
bruise.
basically, you looked for ascites. Basically, you look for ascites.
To look for free fluid. Shifting
Free
the
fluid,
check
yeah.
to look for any free fluid is present or not, sir.
Okay.
And
Fine.
yes, sir. Sir, auscultation, bowel sounds are here. There is no bruit or venosum here on auscultation. Over the right hypochondria, there is no bruit here. Other
Okay.
system examination, cardiovascular system, S1, S2 is here, and there is no murmur. Respiratory system, bilateral artery present. CNS clinically normal. So, summary of this case. Sir, 5.5 months old male baby with no significant perinatal events, with complaints of yellowish discoloration of eyes and body, with passing pale colored stools and dark colored urine since 1.5 months of age, with no history suggestive of failure to thrive and liver failure, with examination findings of jaundice and umbilical hernia, with no hepatosplenomegaly and no signs of liver failure. Probably it's an obstructive jaundice with umbilical hernias.
You said no hepatosplenomegaly.
Sir?
You said no hepatosplenomegaly.
Yes, sir.
So there is no hepatomegaly according to you.
No,
You said liver palpable, no?
sir, normal.
You feel it's normal liver for the baby.
Yes, sir, because the liver span is 6 centimeter, which is normal to the current age, sir. And most of the neonate we able to feel the lower margin of the liver. So, yes, sir, and 6 centimeters.
You will get into serious trouble. If you talk like this in the exam, you get into serious trouble.
Yes, sir.
And if this case is a clincher, you are a goner. Okay.
Yes.
You cannot talk like that. You cannot talk like Sherlock Holmes and all that in the exam. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You cannot say because the span is normal, there is no hepatosplenomegaly. I don't feel there is hepatosplenomegaly. You can't say like that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I think.
Does this child have hepatomegaly or not? Yes or no?
Sir, hepatomegaly is there, sir.
Hepatomegaly is there. Are you agreeing because I am pushing you to agree, or you are reluctantly?
Sir,
You are very reluctant about it.
yes, sir. Sir, I.
Ask your other teachers. No, they are all sitting there. Vinay, Narendra, Gauri, all of them.
Sir,
Are they agreeing with you, or they are throwing darts at you, visual darts at you?
sir,
Narendra, what is he telling, man?
Ramjas sir, Gauri Shankar here.
Tell Gauri.
Yes, sir. We were looking at the same thing. Hepatomegaly, that what he mentioned is in neonates. Of course, it's a
Yeah.
it's infant, so you can't go by
Correct.
that. It's a very.
Yeah.
He just copy pasted his clinical history to the summary. That's what he's done.
Yeah.
Unknowingly.
sir,
Unknowingly and annoyingly.
sir, one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, and I went through the normal liver span size in the book, sir, and they mentioned as from 6 centimeter by the age of 5 months is a normal liver span. They mentioned it, so that I was misguided. That I thought that is a liver is normal. So when we need to consider whether there is a hepatomegaly in the liver, based on liver span, how do we consider it as hepatomegaly, sir?
Don't go by the liver span. Just feel the liver, how much it is palpable below the costal margin.
Yes.
What is the feel of that liver? Is that liver like a soft liver with a very, very sharp edge, or firm liver with a rounded edge?
Yes, sir.
Even if it is smooth surface, it is a hepatomegaly. Okay, so all these things together, and don't if the liver is palpable on a child with obstructive jaundice, don't
Yes.
ever say that there is no hepatomegaly in the child. Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about our
So, I will.
biliary atresia patients who regularly come to us.
Sir. So,
And I'm referring to the regular biliary atresia patients who come to us.
okay.
They will be having hepatomegaly. So you have to correlate things one with the other. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What would you consider a political system allergens?
Sir, and based on the history and findings, it's as per it's an obstructive.
Based on, see, based on history, you can't diagnose allergies, you can't diagnose choledosis. You examine the child, why have you put allergen again? Why have you put allergen again? See, you're not changed anything from your script. You're not changed anything from your. So what is very striking, even what is very striking, even Ramchandra sir wanted to point out jaundice. There is an umbilical hernia. So you want to begin something else. Want to begin something else. It's very commonly described.
Yes. Cystic fiber.
What do you consider allergens? What are the pointers to make you examination when you say it's allergens as a third diagnosis? What are examination features in allergens?
The real examination features like yes.
Classic allergen, what is it? Examination.
It will be come as triangular faces, depressed nasal bridge, and low set ears, and presence of petechiae purpura, and petechiae purpura, and there will be a vertical because there will be a butterfly shaped vertical. These are the findings.
See, clinically, what can you make a clinical butterfly vertebra? You made out faces, you said no syndrome. Anything else is described. What about umbilicus? What about the test case? Anything described in that? As low set umbilicus with undescended testes, triangular faces, then you understand there's no syndromal features. Now you are bringing another as a third diagnosis.
Why did it? What made you take it? You have taken it. Why did you take it? If you thought something and you take, or you did not think about it. So you must have thought first.
Yes.
So what made you take it? So what was your thought?
Because it is the less it is the one of the least common cause of obstructive jaundice in the infantile periods. After that, estotic biliary and choledosis. It's
Just because allergen is also one of the causes for jaundice, you don't get it. But you already examined the child, no. You have examined the child, there are no features of allergen. So unlikely allergen, so you just one of the causes.
Anything good, also you want to add to the umbilical jaundice. Very common for this. What's in
No, basically,
Sir,
Sridhar, what everyone is pointing out to you
yes,
is there any need to commit to Alagille syndrome just because it sounds very nice and you like the sound of that name?
no sir, no
It
sir.
is not necessary to mention it.
Yes,
The examiner should get it out of you. And when he says, "Do you consider Alagille syndrome in this child?" you say, "No, sir."
yes, sir.
Then you justify your negative answer by giving all the points which Dr. Gauri just mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Because of these points and my findings that this doesn't look like a syndromic condition, I'm not thinking of Alagille syndrome in this child. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So don't mention it anyway, this sort of format you won't be following in the exam,
Yes,
but you will have to write your findings and you will have to make a sheet when you're writing because that is used as evidence in the university. Okay?
yes, yes, sir.
And even the examiner will be writing down what you say because nowadays people go to court. I don't know whether they are doing audio recording, video recording, but during our times they used to write it on a piece of paper and give it with the your registration, your number, roll number.
Yes,
So these things you must be very careful of what you commit.
yes, sir.
So don't make a mistake of commission. mistake of omission, the examiner will usually will bail you out. If you
Yes.
omit something, they will bail you out. If you commit, you have trouble in this MS MCH exams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you have presented everything to tell us that this child has got an obstructive jaundice.
Yes, sir.
And since you are a surgeon, you consider possibility of biliary atresia and choledochal cyst.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the other thing you should also look for is there any sign of liver cell failure in your patient? You must be smart when you are presenting. You must mention some signs which you have looked for or which you have thought of and which are not there in this patient of liver cell failure.
Sir,
It will not be possible to elicit liver cell failure in a small baby of this size,
yes, sir.
but you should think of some things which can tell you about liver cell failure in the history.
In
You should also think of the other thing which happens when there is an obstructive jaundice, which is bile salt excretion. So when there is bile salt accumulation, what happens in the body? Those things you must think of. So logically, you must think of. So
yes,
generally, infant not maybe of this age, earlier older age group infants who have obstructive jaundice, what do they have on their body when they have excessive bile salt in their body?
yeah. And
What do they have when you examine these
they
children?
have if they excessive bile salts, they will have pruritus will be there, sir, if there is a old baby. And
When you look at the
marks,
body of the child, will the pruritus be written in italics
they will
or
have scratchy
capital letters
marks.
or small letters?
No, there will be
What is that?
scratchy marks will be there in the body, sir, because of
Scratch
scratching.
marks will be there in the body. Even
Yes.
small babies can scratch. And generally, traditionally our women at home generally don't cut the nails of babies. They don't usually cut because they are
Yes.
scared that they may
Yes.
cause something. So
Yes,
generally, babies in our society have little bigger nails compared to children from other cultures. So the nails will be very prominent in these babies, and
Yes.
they will scratch if they have
Yes.
high salt levels, bile salt levels in their system.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you think of poor liver cell function, what are the things you can think of?
Liver, sir,
Hepatocellular failure.
liver
Hepatocellular failure.
function,
What else can you think of? In the history, what can be there?
there will be abdominal distension associated with sometime it will present as inguinal hernia also.
See, I asked you a specific question, Sridhar. You are a very senior person. I'm
Yes.
asking you respectfully a very
Yes, sir.
specific question. What will be there in the history when you are looking for liver cell failure?
Sir, there will be like
History.
ecchymosis and brucea will be there. And
In
if
the history. Okay. That
and
is more of a finding. Okay.
yes, sir. A failure to thrive, decreased body weight will be there, sir.
Yes. What else will be there?
And
What is one of the subtle signs of hepatic
there
encephalopathy?
there will be a pedal edema. There will be edema all over the body will be there, sir, because of hypoproteinemia.
Okay.
And
Hepatic encephalopathy. What will be the subtle sign
child
in
will
the
be
baby?
irritable. Child will be irritable.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Child will be very, very irritable. Child
Yes,
will
sir.
not be playful. The mother will notice that, and she will come to you.
Yes, sir.
In a follow-up baby of portoenterostomy, Kasai, they will come
Yes,
to you
sir.
and say that for the last 1 month, my child has not been playing at all. He's very
Yes.
listless.
Yes, sir.
He's irritable, and he does not eat as much as he eats. That is also because of the physical fact that there's a lot of ascites and all that. Other thing
Yes.
is he doesn't sleep as much
Yes.
as he used to sleep before.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So these are the things you must look for in the history for hepatocellular failure in children.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, these are all straightforward cases. So don't make the error of committing to diagnosis like Dr. Gauri said now of Alagille syndrome and all that. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Of course, now you are presenting to us, that is fine. But in your sheet, when you are writing, don't write anything. Just like write obstructive jaundice with umbilical hernia.
Yes, sir.
And if they ask you to commit orally, you commit to the diagnosis which they want you to commit. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if they ask you to commit to a syndrome, you say, no, this is not a syndrome because of this fact. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And also, we
is not striking.
Anybody on biliary suspected jaundice and complain about any symptom?
Biliary split malformation syndrome. Yes, sir.
See,
Yes.
Jagdish and Jagdish is twice represented here in the list. Jagubai, twice it is shown. Other people also can contribute, no? They can ask questions and they can take part in the discussion. Jagdish,
You have written PV twice.
Sir, I am not able to hear the question, sir. Discussion is completely there. I'm not able to
okay.
understand, sir.
Okay.
I have some
Somebody is
issues
really
with,
sabotaging you.
yeah. Multiple times I logged in, I reinstalled the app, but I could not able to connect it, sir. Something gone wrong with my system, sir.
Okay.
Sir, striking characters of P5.
With all these features are striking, which will make you think that
The child in P5, the child will have the
what is the most predominant presenting symptom of a child?
prurated sign will be more.
Child is their mother is not bothered about the jaundice.
Yes, sir.
Mother is bothered about pruritus
Yes, sir.
because how the child does not even sleep for more than 2 hours.
Yes,
One type of pruritus,
yes,
like to has predominantly pruritus. Child does not even sleep. The child wakes up at night and starts scratching.
Age group is
Now,
yes, sir.
when skin changes, you see lichen planus like the skin changes
Yes, sir.
because of lot of scratch constant.
Yes, sir.
there is a question.
Sir, based on the situation, I will ask investigation to assess the general condition of the patient to confirm my diagnosis and for further planning. The three things. For to confirm my diagnosis, I will ask for is this.
Okay. Go ahead. So what investigation is?
Sir, but to confirm the diagnosis of type of jaundice, I will ask for a level of total bilirubin and direct indirect bilirubin, along with AST, LT, LP, and GGT, sir. Right. So, investigation wise, here the total bilirubin is 15, with the direct bilirubin is 10.5 gram per deciliter, milligram per deciliter. Along with AST, HT, LP, all three parameters are raised, along with GGT is also raised. Here, based on the finding, it appears to be direct hyperbilirubinemia, along with increased AST, LP suggestion of some degree of liver damage is also
So
there.
can you comment on GGT?
Yes, sir. GGT is raised to 210. It is raised, sir. Which indirectly tells us is the case of direct bilirubin defect in the excretory part of the where ALP is also a marker for excretory part, but in neonates and infants, it will be slightly raised because of increased bone turnover. Yes, sir.
Asking about ESD and ALT. So what does it indicate?
Yes, AST, ALT indicates the degree of the liver cell damage, sir. So because of that, probably because of bilirubinemia, hyperbilirubinemia, there is associated liver cell damage also is taking place. Because of raised AST, we can consider there is some degree of liver cell damage. is there.
So what will you do?
Sir, I will assess to now based on the evaluation, we come to know the direct hyperbilirubinemia. So to confirm the to find the etiology, I will go for ultrasound hepatobiliary system to roll out the ultrasound hepatobiliary system. Yeah.
Liver is mild enlarged in size, shows difference increased echo texture. Triangular sign measures 4.6 millimeters. Gallbladder measures 1.5 centimeter length and 0.4 millimeters width. And post-feed it changes to 1.9 centimeter length and 0.4 centimeters in width. Pancreas is normal, spleen mildly enlarged in size, breast normal.
So what does this ultrasound information further do with the diagnosis?
Yes, sir. Sir, in ultrasound, coming to the liver, it is mildly enlarged in size with reduced increased echotension. That means some liver damage is happening. But triangular sign measures 4.6 mm. It may sometimes indicate that there is a fibrous biliary, fibrous portal tract, fibrous portal tract. It will consider it's an indirect dimension of biliary atresia. So portal tract, it is it is the both right and left hepatic. Yes, sir.
What is the
What is
what is the cause?
It is the fibrous biliary duct, sir. Fibrous biliary duct, which is measured at the level of the portal bifurcation.
What is it called?
Because it will be hyperactive and cord-like structure at the end of bifurcation of the portal vein you can able to measure. So in ultrasound look like a triangular edge where we need to check for the hyper-echogenicity of the.
It's a cone-like structure.
Yes, sir.
On ultrasound, we do dimension it.
Look like.
On which side do you see it? Where do you see it?
Sir, at the level of portal hepatitis.
Where do you see it? How do you say it? Where do you see it? The background of what?
At the on the background of cord
On the right portion.
on the right.
Right to the right portion. You see that it's a cone-shaped structure. But when you see it two dimensional, it will be flat. Depending on the measurement, they will see whether it is fibrosis or not. So if it is more, basically it indicates that your biliary tract is.
Fibrosis. Yes.
So that's why I asked, you said half your tract.
Believe.
Use a specific person.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Sir, and gallbladder. So gallbladder.
Sridhar, the gallbladder measurement is paradoxical, no?
Yes, sir. Sir, where,
It increases after feed.
yes, sir.
So is there a connection between the duodenum and the gallbladder?
Sir, I feel that increase in size probably inter-observer error. It's become observer error. So probably we need to consider. I feel that it's considered that the size is not decreased after feeding. I'll
When
consider.
you use words like inter-observer, it means that two people are doing the scan.
Sorry, sir. Intra-observer variation.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Probably that
Intra-observer.
0.2 mm will be because of observer variation. So here, based on the findings, I will consider it as the size is not decreased after feed, sir.
Okay.
And here another
Gallbladder is not contracting secondary
Not contracting.
to the feed.
yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, okay. So that means it is just a stationary gallbladder. It is just a anatomical structure sitting there. It's not a functional gallbladder.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
No, I'm not leading you on to anything. I'm just trying to explain to you.
yes, sir.
Can I add something, sir? Sir, this gallbladder contractility more than 30% is changes. That is what is.
Yes, sir.
That is the ejection fraction, huh?
And spleen here, it is a single spleen which is present and is mildly enlarged in size.
Is any other thing that you want to see in the video?
Subcapsular portal flow, I will say.
Capsular?
Subcapsular, sorry, sir. Subcapsular flow.
You
Subcapsular.
don't use those words.
Yes,
Just answer. Subcapsular.
Sorry.
Subcapsular.
Yes,
Subcapsular, as the name says, just below the capsule of the liver.
yes, sir.
That is portal liver.
Sir, I'm mistaken.
Subcapsular flow.
Yes, sir.
What is subcapsular flow?
It indicates that the cirrhosis part is certain in the liver.
Here, progressive cirrhosis.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you see subcapsular flow in the ultrasound, that is again indicating that even though this is biliary, but you also have to think that cirrhosis has already developed.
Yes.
So you already know at the back of the neck before opening the patient. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Before the surgery, you know what
Yes.
might have gone.
Yes, sir.
These are all universal things. So how will you prove what you're looking at, what condition is it, what things you want to do, what tests you want to do to identify the cause and for the treatment.
After that, I will go for
One which shows that blood is enough.
Yes, sir.
Unsplenomegaly.
yes, sir.
So for a 5-month-old, already the megamegaly spleen is functioning large. And gallbladder 1.7 centimeter. So how will you proceed further?
Sir, I will do the hepatoimmunodiacetic acid scan, HIDA scan, to further.
What do you want to, what will provide you the will? You have a liver function of showing 1000
Yes, sir.
EST and ALT.
Yes, sir.
You have a poor liver function. So with such poor liver function, what additional tests will they tell you? What additional information will they give you? Hepatocellular function is behind so much. And GGT is only 200.
Yes.
So what's the use of it? HIDA here,
No.
this kind of medical.
Sir, I will change instead of
Why do you
HIDA,
want to change now?
because
You should have thought about this. You have the investigation. Based on the investigation, you order, not based on what you were thinking to do. It's all tailored, no? So we have to tailor the investigation based on this because you won't get the one done. Then if you're done, shows what is and things
here I will go for liver biopsy before HIDA scan.
you are perhaps.
Yes, sir.
So okay, the IDA scan has been done. What
Yes,
does it show?
It shows that the liver is the uptake is present in the liver, but there is no excretion into the bowel even after the 24-hour image.
Yeah, it's a- So what other tests you want?
Sir, in this case, before proceeding, I will go for liver biopsy to assess the degree of cirrhosis.
So this HIDA scan was done 2 months back.
Sir,
HIDA scan was done 2 months back.
Yes, sir, before coming to our hospital.
Okay, okay.
So is liver biopsy only for liver cirrhosis? What is another exam from the jump out of the window?
sir, it is also it
What is the role of liver biopsy in a child with hepatitis? What's the role? You have to be very careful in choosing your words.
Yes,
You
sir.
can't just
It-
throw something like expect to be
Do you
understood.
do liver biopsy to diagnose something, or you want to directly go into cirrhosis of
No.
liver and then?
Seriously, see, it's a end stage thing.
Ah.
It will happen. So, what is the role of liver biopsy in a child with neonatal hepatitis, or this child with presently
also
5-month-old child with jaundice?
it is also helpful in diagnosis of
It's also
It is also-
It is helpful in
also
diagnosing.
It is not also.
It is
It is basically people don't do IOC, people do liver biopsy to diagnose it.
yes.
Then do the procedure.
So, what are going to diagnose liver biopsy in a child with neonatal hepatitis? What are going to diagnose? What is the spectrum of disease you can diagnose?
It will diagnose extrahepatic biliary atresia.
What would be the features?
Feature will be there is a bile duct proliferation, cholestasis will be there, along with periportal inflammation and gain cell infiltration will be there.
If you do at what stage you will get there? If you do at this stage at 5 months, what will you do?
It is
Okay,
on
sure. Okay.
cirrhosis
One is extrahepatic biliary. What else?
and any metabolic disorders like glycogen storage disease, liposomal storage disease can be found out with liver biopsy. And
Then
any to look yes, sir, to look for viral inclusion bodies.
what will it show us?
Sir, it will show us cytoplasmic inclusion bodies. If it is associated cytoplasmic or nuclear inclusion bodies. Genes. Yes.
Idiopathic gene cell.
It is associated with lymphocytic infiltrate lymphocytic.
Here only giant cell hepatitis and what would you want?
Gene cell.
You've done a liver biopsy.
Yes, sir.
It just shows nerve cell formation, where minimal fibrosis and giant cell hepatitis. What would that indicate?
So it will be due to viral hepatitis.
Why are you so much struggling with this? You put so many different areas. So struggling with
Sridhar,
One slide.
Sridhar,
Yes, sir.
Sridhar,
Yes, sir.
what is your institutional policy with reference to doing HIDA scan in all cases of obstructive jaundice, and what is your institutional policy of doing a liver biopsy for all obstructive jaundice? What is your institutional policy? Do you have a policy or not?
Sir, here HIDA scan we will do only for particular patients, not for all patients. We won't do for all patients HIDA scan. If there is a raised GGT level with the future suggestion of extrahepatic biliary atresia, we will directly proceed for intraoperative cholangiogram. And
Okay.
for liver biopsy, only if there is if the baby shows the signs of liver cell failure and consider the late age group, then we will consider for we will do the liver biopsy instead of intraoperative cholangiogram. Only if there is late presentation associated with the liver cell failure.
Okay. When you make these statements, you must be sure that what you are saying is followed in the institution, because your internal examiner will be sitting next to the external examiner.
Yes.
And he will be looking at the internal examiner and asking, sir, is that correct, sir? What is telling your candidate? He will ask. Okay? So you must be very certain what you are doing in an institution. So being an institution, you must have a policy for these things.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So do we have a policy in Indira Gandhi Institute? We do, you said.
Yeah.
We have a policy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So then this was not done in our institution. This thing was done, HIDA scan was done before referring to our institution.
Actually, previously when I joined, all the patients done the HIDA scan, sir. Now we have changed the thing.
Okay.
So Insta scan is not advised for all the patient. We will, if there is a GGT is raised and future suggested biliary atresia, we will directly proceed for intraoperative cholangiogram. Sir. Now.
Okay. That is the present policy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ramchandra, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, yes, sir. Same thing. As he said, either we could have it for IOC, or if there is a doubt of this child with passing colic experience and possibility we can avoid emergency. So there is a group.
Yes.
Otherwise, liver biopsy somehow didn't work out. So again, we would have had to gone back on not doing the liver biopsy, so liver biopsy for IOC. And
Yes.
I just want to put this slide.
Yes.
If there was no doubt of hepatitis in your mind, history, diagnosis,
Yes.
then where did you get a touch? You got the point.
Sir,
History, clinical examination, is the diagnosis. There is no way you are mentioning your intent. Then where did you got a touch?
no, the torch profile mainly cytomegalovirus is also helpful for the prognosis of the biliary atresia patient. Like IgM cytomegalovirus positive biliary atresia have poor prognosis when compared to IgM negative biliary atresia. That is also one reason. And hepatitis with this torch infection is Hepatitis usually caused by hepatitis B in the neonatal period. And
Most of the time, you use this food always.
torch. Yes, sir.
So in your already outdated said that we see cytomegalomy, nothing is nothing is affected except
No, no, I changed my diagnosis. Neonatal hepatitis is there, sir.
okay. So you put a neonatal hepatitis as a differential
Second
diagnosis
differential
after
diagnosis.
start.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this IgM mostly for change your management or what you want to do. So you have ultrasound, you have elastase, not asked for you, but done unfortunately, and Nurse is there, and the liver function test, and the fairly stable time. So what you want to proceed?
Sir, here I will proceed for intraoperative cholangiogram only. Before that, I will get a medical opinion for the management of cytomegalovirus infection, where we can do urinary PCR level or salivary PCR level for look for cytomegalovirus, and we need to assess the neurological examination or ear audiology also we need to check to look for the any hearing loss. And based on the medical opinion, we may end up in starting Janssen Clover or Valen Janssen. Yes, sir. Ophthalmic.
If the child doesn't have any symptoms as such, clinical examination or signs of severe infection, most of the time they want only for PCS. So during PCS, after 5,000. It is along, if it is conjugated with antibody or salivary
Yeah.
PCR positive, then only carries body parts. So, otherwise, it's clinical signs of that, they're directly treated. If there are no clinical signs, then they are 1% which is costly and that's the reason for cost.
And one study show that IgM CMV positive biliary atresia have poor prognosis when compared to IgM negative. But treatment with Vancomycin doesn't change the prognosis of the patient. So only to prognosticate this report will be helpful in related to biliary atresia.
How will you proceed?
Especially after getting anesthetic fitness, I will go for I will proceed after getting anesthetic fitness. I will proceed for intraoperative cholangiogram along with based on the findings of intraoperative cholangiogram. Based on the findings of intraoperative cholangiogram, proceed for custom photoendostomy with liver biopsy.
So considering this age is 5.5 months, and
Yes, sir.
you still want to consider Kasaya is positive for reference,
Yes.
positive for delivery. What are your thoughts on it?
Sir, since the child is specifically delayed, the prognosis of this child is very less when compared to the child we presented during the second and third month of age. But still, we can proceed for Kasaya photoendostomy because it will give a chance that it will give a brief time lag for the further if it needed for liver transplantation. It will give a bridge for the liver transplantation to be considered. And so it was recommended to consider for Kasai's photoendostomy even if it is presented late age. If there is no significant liver cell failure, they are asking to proceed for Kasai photoendostomy.
That's the only place where you
Yes, sir.
full blood
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
when we are doing
Yes. Sir, yes. So in
Have you looked at the prothrombin time in this child?
yes,
Has
sir.
it been done?
Yes,
It
sir.
is normal.
It is
I didn't see it.
no. It mentioned INR is 1.14. Sir, in this, yes, even at the age of 5 months, if If it is not shows as a liver is somewhat mild cirrhosis, but it's not features a liver failure, still we can go for Kasai sport retrospective. Yes.
Okay, so what are the prognostic factors here for say good outcome for generally?
General. So generally, age at the diagnosis. If it is sorry, age at the procedure. At if it is 72, they follow the age at 70.
They and they. Who's they?
We,
Who's they? You have to reference for they and who's they. You have to
Putting somebody's name.
like it is done in a mark down for that.
clear article. You can say they, then yes. You have to be very clear. In what you talk.
If you don't know the second place, maybe second put the name. Put the name.
They said, you are they.
Or I can say, if you don't know that also.
Yes, sir. So age if it is present at the 70 days, it means for good prognosis when compared to surgery done at 90 days. And the degree of the liver damage which indirectly correlates with the prognosis of the outcome. And the presence of IgM cytomegalovirus positive will lead to poor prognosis in the outcome. And post surgery,
In this transition, but I prognostic. You said that rather made you clear it was more from the school. But what is described and that also just part of clear it is same.
sir, biliary atresia screening malformation syndrome group have poor prognosis when compared to isolated biliary atresia groups because it is also associated with other malformations like it also presents a spleen of polysplenia or malrotation, preduodenal portal vein, and cardiac, situs inversus.
One of the causes so if you are government with SI photo industry, so what are your anatomic what are your steps
Yes, sir.
steps or dissection or limits for a photo.
Sir, I will start from the incision.
Is this the what described originally or is it modified?
It is
So it's photo and
modified.
But if you say modified, then you should be knowing what all modifications are.
Okay, go ahead with present concept of
Yes, sir. After the intraoperative cholangiogram, which if it doesn't show any biliary intrahepatic duct opacification, and or otherwise if the gallbladder is very arthritic, we will proceed for Kasai sport retrostomy. So here, after dividing the right left triangular ligaments and falciform ligament, we will exteriorize the liver. Along with, we will start dissecting the arthritic gallbladder, and we will proceed up to the and we'll start dissecting the portal vein right and left side as well as hepatic artery right and left side by dividing the right and left triangular ligament and falciform ligament. Then we will externalize the liver with a gentle traction, gently pulling out the liver. Yeah, we will ask the anesthetic to look for the pressures because it will sometimes cause IVC kinking and decrease the blood flow to the heart. So after extension, After the galvanic dissection, we will start dissecting the portal vein and hepatic artery, and we'll try to slope it separately on the right side and left side. Once we dissect the portal vein, hepatic artery, we will start dissecting the portal tract, which is fibrosed, by retracting the portal vein hepatic artery inferiorly downwards, and we will start dissecting the portal vein with the fine scissors just away from the capsule.
What is your concept of portal vein excision? What are your limits?
Limits in the inferiorly and the portal vein bifurcation, where in the right side there is a first branch of the hepatic artery, and left side will go up to the portal vein, will go up to the recess where the first umbilical vein arises from the portal vein left side, joining umbilical vein, joining the portal vein left side.
Right also be a division
Of portal vein. Yes.
Initially, yes, it was described. But now what you said, up to the origin of the umbilical exegesis and right after bifurcation.
So artery and vein actually both will be
Yes.
So the first division of the portal vein is right. This is the artery. That will be your decision.
And after reaching the portal vein, the bleeding here, we need to take care not to cauterize the bleeding. We need to put attendance of gas or gas for some minutes, and we need to reduce the limit.
You told the right, yes, the limit is told, right side you told the limit. Inferiorly you told the
Bifurcation of the portal vein. Yes, sir.
inferiorly. What's the posteriorly?
So,
Posterior. Posterior to the patient.
posted to the patient.
In the sense, in relation to the patient position, what is the posterior limit? So you discuss bifurcation of the portal vein is here, this is the inferior mark. So you start scraping from here, go down, scrape from here.
It is up to at the level of the capsule, sir. You should not have.
So you should go to the posterior margin of the portal vein, the portal vein trunk. How much depth you take? Go to the posterior margin of the portal vein.
Yes.
Bifurcation. From there you go, and then what is your limit of access to the liver is your capsule. You don't need to dig into the liver. What capsule? What is the capsule?
Lessons capsule.
Listen.
Lessons.
Gleason is what?
Lessons.
Gleason is this. Listen, prostate.
Sir, after the portal,
Because the core into that area. Like they used to go out, take a cone shape of the liver parenchyma out, and then understand.
So the point is when you don't go into the liver parenchyma, stick onto the Gleason's capsule.
yes.
Or if you go into the liver parenchyma, what will be the problem with the outcome?
Yes.
Intraoperative problem, is it a post-operative outcome?
It is the post-operative problem of us, because if you go into the liver we begin the liver parenchyma, then if you heal with fibrosis, so further ducts will get obliterated, sir. So the chances of successful outcome will become reduced.
So most of the tracks may get obliterated by the healing that fibrosis.
Yes, sir.
Where are the drugs coming?
Sir,
Supposed to be like a good duct size supported from
The whole thing.
yes, sir.
In the right section area,
Yes.
where are theoretically those two ducts are coming, one is right and one is left. Isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Out of the portal vein, the portal
In
vein,
that, if you take a walk has a
that's arising from the right portal.
so in that clock, which are the
Sir, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
rise up 10, rise up one position down.
No one position.
And once send on to 10 on 2.
Where the theoretical duct might go.
Yes, sir. 10 and 2 o'clock.
Okay, when portals
After that, I will put a gauze piece and I will introduce the liver. Then I will start making the row in my liver. where we will make incision at 15 centimeter distal to DJ flexure, and we will take a groove wide of 40 to 50 centimeter length, where retrocollic will deliver into the hepatic surface after making end-to-end side anastomosis of the lumen. Here, we'll after closing the opening of the lumen, we'll do portoenterostomy anastomosis with observable sutures with 50 occupying the entire portal plate. And once made the anastomosis, we'll integrate this liver and we'll check for take the liver biopsy, exit biopsy. Then we will close the abdomen.
The issues with facing the liver.
Yeah, yes, sir. It will sometimes it will cause it decrease the in decrease the blood flow to the cardiac because of the IVC kick. So that time we need to be careful and we need to inform the anesthetist before exteriorizing the liver.
And then liver biopsy, most of us will take weekly.
Yes.
To surface the nerves, whichever is easily possible, and the edge of the wedge biopsy, from the edge, it's like a wedge. Is there any better at taking the biopsy? If you want to really look into the
Yes. We can to look for the center. We can do true cut biopsy to look for the parenchyma.
on-table true biopsy is most
Yes, sir.
most liver events because
Yes, sir.
for any biopsy, liver true biopsy, not from the edge of the liver.
Yes.
Wedge from the edge, not very much facility of the actually tracks.
Yes.
So if you do on-table also, since we have looked at, we can look at that also.
Yes.
You can hold on look at, and then hold it. Where are the points where we are taking biopsy and portrait?
Sridhar?
Yes, sir.
Sridhar, I have a couple of questions, technical questions to you.
Yes, sir.
What you described is not a classical portoenterostomy. It is a extended modified portoenterostomy, which Mark Davenport and the Japanese authors are nowadays following.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
you
sir.
have to do what is called as a vascular takedown and a vascular dissection. When you do a vascular takedown, you have to ligate per force. You have to ligate some small tributaries from the portal disc, which are going towards the portal vein. The hepatic artery is far away. You are not worried about it. You can get
Yes,
it
sir.
easily within 2 minutes. The hepatic artery will be away.
Yes,
Portal vein is the problem. Okay,
Yes.
you must remember that. So roughly, how many you will get? Have you assisted portoenterostomy cases?
Yes, sir.
Roughly, how many you may encounter these tributaries when you do this extended portoenterostomy?
I will so approximately 2 to 3 branches to the caudate lobe I encoded, sir. Where we will ligate it and
No, not to the caudate lobe. No. The disc, from the disc, the vessels will be coming towards the portal vein. Small tributaries.
Yes, sir.
So those tributaries you have to ligate off. So
Yes.
sometimes there will be 4 or 5. Sometimes there will be 6 to 8. So
Yes.
that's a very meticulous job you have to do.
Yes, sir.
So most of us use 50 silk for that when you do the ligation,
Yes.
or you can use 50 vicryl also for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you are doing the cutting of the portal plate, you described it properly. You should not get into the liver parenchyma, otherwise it will fibrose off and close off the ducts.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So how do you cut the portal plate? What instrument do you use specifically?
Sir,
I mean, what instrument have you seen being used?
here in our hospital we use a small hypospadias sharp scissors.
Hypospadias. That is the dolphin scissors you are using. Okay. What is described?
Scissors we use.
Described in the literature? What is normally used?
It's a pot scissor we will
What
use.
is normally used?
Pot scissor we will use to.
Okay, pot scissors.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And for the anastomosis, what suture material do you use? What size?
We use Vicryl 50 observable suture, sir.
Normally, Normally, most of us use 60, 60 or
Yes.
70 you'll use. Usually 60 we will use. And we will use what needle holder do you usually use for this sort of anastomosis?
What the question was,
People.
most of the, I just say,
Normally, which needle holder do you use for this anastomosis? Most surgeons who you do this using fine needle, fine suture material with fine needle. What needle holder do you use?
most of the,
Will a regular needle holder hold that needle, or it will cut the needle? What will happen? Are
So
you aware of that?
if the regular needle holder, it will bend, then the needle will bend.
You are using regular needle holder. Okay.
Yes.
Bend or cut.
It will bend and certain suture will cut from the needles. Cut off.
No, what needle holder do you normally use when you're using fine? Even for pyeloplasty, you use it. Sometimes for hypospadias also you'll use it. What needle holder is that?
Castro is
Generally made by a very famous company called as Asculap. Asculap makes that needle holder. What is that needle holder called?
sir. Castro with needle holder.
You have to read it because these are all names. Now you have to give respect. To the names of the people who invented these needle holders. It's a very fine instrument. Castro VAO. That's the name of the instrument. But generally, in short, you can say Castro. Castro needle holder. You use it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So does it require a special technique to hold it when you are using Castro needle holder, or you can hold it like your regular needle holder?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
We have not used that.
Okay. So you have not used it. You have to familiarize yourself with that needle holder. Okay. In
Yes.
your career as a pediatric surgeon, you have to learn how to use. Sometimes even for vascular anastomosis, also people use it. But generally, it's a good thing to learn how to use a Castro needle holder. How to hold the needle, how to drive the suture, how to disengage the needle, and how to engage the needle, and how to rotate the Castro needle holder in your two fingers. All these things you have to, have to understand, and you have to use it properly.
Yes, yes, sir.
And it is a good instrument to use especially for this anastomosis. It's an excellent instrument to use. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Normally is the suturing done by like parachuting the anastomosis onto the disc, or is it done one by one you tie? Is that how it is done most of the time?
Sir, first posting level, I'll take all stays along with it. Finally, everything together one by one we will tie it, sir. After taking all the stays together in the posterior one.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So first you do the posterior layer. Precisely, you take the sutures for the posterior layer so that the disc is completely inside the your enterotomy, and then the anterior layer you sort of put it on top with a few interrupted sutures. You don't
Yes.
really have to take the disc for the anterior layer. Okay, you can take capsule or some fibrous tissue or something. Normally, it is done in a very loose fashion. The anterior layer, posterior layer is done very precisely, and as you mentioned correctly, you take multiple sutures, how
Yes.
many hours you want, and you sort of thread the bowel onto the disc, and you tie the sutures one by one. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that's how you do it. And always you have to take a biopsy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, post-operative management. I will keep the child for hyper oral for 2 to 3 days, sir. And I will monitor the urine output and vital signs during the follow-up day. And once the child passes stools and bowel sounds here, then starts direct breastfeed slowly and attain the full feeds by end of 5 to 6 days, sir.
What are the issues we face? It's a 5.5 months old child.
Yes.
But which issues we face in post-operative?
Yes. Here, the child has more. There is a chance of child develop ascites which leads to the the ascitic fluid discharge from the wound, it will occur, sir. And
keep it right.
sir, we won't keep the drain head. And already the liver functions are the child may go for leads to liver.
Before the percentage, how is it managed and what is better?
Sir, in ascites, I will check for the protein levels, albumin levels. If any decrease in albumin levels, I will give albumin infusion and albumin infusion. And hepatorenal syndrome is the condition where the child will the child will suffer from anuria. With the child will go for low polyuria and anuria. Even though the function of the kidney is normal, but it won't function because of some pathology of the liver. So it will be detected by the decreased urine output, and the child urea and creatinine will get raised. This can manage with good hydration and keeping the good hydration and we can give low dose Lasix also to make urine output. We can manage with that.
Regarding ascites is when the albumin is what we use.
No, we will along with the albumin we can use spironolactones also, or spironolactone with furosemide combination we can use to decrease the ascitic fluid. Sir, once the child is discharged, we will during the follow-up we need to check look for the signs of uh, we need to look for any sign.
When you do your first clinical first up.
I will look for the color of the stools, whether the child is passing colic color stools or acolic stools, and I will start supplements with vitamin A, D, E, K, and calcium tablets, and steroid doses. We can start prednisolone with 2 mg per kg. Yes, sir, we will start we will start prednisolone, and we will send out prophylaxis with trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole. Chemoprophylaxis we can send, sir. Along with you will send, we will give UDCA with dosage of 15 mg per kg per dose CID. It will act as a polyreptic agent, so the excretory function it found out the excretion of the bilirubin will be better along with the usage of UDCA. Sir, coming to steroid, they told that definitely there is an increased polyreptic initial usage, but later there is preservation of native liver. There is no improvement in there is no increased preservation of native liver. But the initial polyreptic agent with steroid it is useful. Sir, it reduces the inflammation so that the inflammatory fibrosis will reduce and it will increase in the excretion of the bile, and it also acts as a polyreptic agent.
Low dose, high dose, front out seas, is every unit is using it. Is it
That's
Yes. Again, the difference between low dose and high dose steroids, some studies show that high dose steroid is better, but there is no conclusive evidence to show that High dose steroid is better than low dose steroids.
Some studies.
Yes.
What we do here?
Here now we started high dose steroids with going to mg per kilogram per dose is BDBS
So 4 milligram per kg per day.
per day. Yes, we are giving. Sir, we are giving up to 3 months. 6 months, sorry, 6 months, and we are gradually reducing it later, sir.
Any problem that have come up?
Sir, not one, but
Not any problem that you have found out?
So there was still leak was there, stomatic leak, which we didn't, yeah, we were not able to bring it up. Could be because of that.
one child just with the Cushingoid features while during follow-up, sir.
So there is no. Does it mean you have any confirmations? Is the low dose steroids, outcomes, short-term outcomes, at the end of 3 months? What I was looking, what is the recommendation?
We didn't analyze our outcomes, sir. Based on analysis, we did.
What is the literature?
What is available literature?
Yes.
High dose
Came into this equation also.
what
So long-term steroids
No really
no
specific.
specific as well as the outcomes. So in the overall, in the native liver, survival, that's what is
Survival is mainly
So these are like decades. These are like decades over the 4 decades to 5 decades. The last one is over 1 decade, 10 years. So there is no change in this.
Native liver survival.
So as you said, major surgery, associated CMV, ridiculousness of surgery. These are the main prognostic factors. And this is just
what all will be the course of disease after
Sir, out of 1/3 we'll have the unsuccessful side. That means there is failure of excretion of the bile post surgery. Where 2/3 will have the excretion of bile. Among the 2/3, 1/2 child will have a gradual decrease in the bile excretion with increased liver cell failure. Where 1/3 will proceed with proper excretion of bile, but future they may end up in chronic liver failure. But during the future analysis. So probably 2/3 may end up in a liver cell failure in the early toddler age group.
situation. There are enough which have put out national registry, come from Japan or from UK, France, they are like 40 to 60 years old. So saying one third, of course, India is not, it's unfortunate, but there are enough registries to say what is the outcome. Let us speak in terms of native liver survival. Children going in for worse, completely worse symptomatic. No signs of liver disease in terms of whatever. That is one. Second is moderate ones. Liver transplant. So there are all the risks. If you go through them, and you should be aware of it. What is the outcome of percentage of this? Or is it 20%, 30%, whatever it is. If it's right road, but it is there. You should become just say what at least read those registries.
Yes.
Or we should be able to come up or hospital.
last by schools immediately
Yes.
done properly. That was not
when do you say it is successful result?
Sir, the passage of colic stools by the end of 6 months post surgery, present every 3 months.
And then
Colic stools with decrease in the bilirubin level less than 2 milligram per deciliter by the end of 3 months will consider a successful result.
What is your take on liver fibrosis on your biopsy? But do you think it's something you can do about it? Like for example, if you see a baby, so 1 month baby operate. So what will be the liver fibrosis for 1 month baby? See a baby of 3 months, 2 months. So are going to say 60 days later. Liver fibrosis is different. So for our prognostic factors, less than 70 days is good still. We are looking at the better outcome. So if you operate at 1 month, if you operate at 60 days, will it be different results? Will it be say 20 days, 30 days, 40 days?
Yes,
Yes. So is the fibrosis is because of the age of the baby? What is it?
it is.
I did not.
Yes,
Understand.
understood, sir. Sir, it mentioned that operating by the end of the few months is better when compared to operating in 3 months, but they didn't find difference between operating on 1 month as 2 months. And the degree of the fibrosis is depend on the pathology of the lesion. So operating 1 month and 2 months doesn't make a difference between this two.
Because we were catching 1 month baby early.
Yes, sir.
And then if you document that into other ecology economics, and then you document that from the perspective, that will be you have a facility as to do all the tests required to do next time. Baby is coming to the surgery at 1 month. So theoretically, is the fibrosis score is going to be less or more?
No, fibrosis score will be the same, sir, as like in the 2 month baby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So my question is, see the fibrosis score, what you see at the time of surgery is one thing. What you don't see is what is happening in the liver, the timeline is different. There are some patients where you do a surgery earlier and fibrosis score is very less, but when you follow it up, they are training by over a period of time, the fibrosis will increase, they stop training by. Thus, the inherently liver is going to have fibrosis, whether you do surgery or not.
Yes.
So that is going to determine the outcomes of most of our successful Kasai diagnostic.
Yes. So your fibrosis progression doesn't affected by the surgery. Surgical
By
pressure doesn't
trying to
affect.
do it early,
Yes, sir.
you cannot eliminate the fibrosis.
Fibrosis, yes.
It's not in your control. So cirrhosis is a stress. Cirrhotic changes in the liver are because secondary biliary cirrhosis will happen because the bile is getting stagnant in the liver and is going to cause toxic changes in the liver.
Yes.
That's one aspect. How will you follow this after successful Kasai?
After supplement, after 3 months of the age.
3 years.
Yes, sir. Sir, 3 year age group, I will ask them to come every year and I will look for the features of cholangitis or if any features of the liver failure that I will look for in the follow-up, sir. So if any fever episodes in the post-catheter child, we should think of cholangitis unless proved otherwise. And the signs of liver failure will keep in mind that any development of ascites or any bleeding episodes or any features of liver failure like development of pulmonary edema and
Categorize yourself by saying clinical examination, stool pattern, lab investigation, and screening informed endoscopy.
yes.
So when you want to add all of that, and how many times would you do that? One is would be screen for liver screen. What you're going to see? You're going to see the weight. You're going to see the height of the child. So whether it is going within normal gram. Then you are going to look at the clinical parameters of stool, color of stool. Then you are looking at your clinical parameters of bilirubin and liver normalization, liver function normalization. The other one is the marker is a GGT. So you have to be very specific. So when you say liver function, see you are guessing. You have to be very specific in what you say. 3 months I'm doing this, annually I'm going to do. Now it's coming to the picture. Yes, annually. Symptomatic, you go and do. Observe. If they are symptomatic, then you go and treat them. Otherwise, you just leave it. Your weight,
gain weight in the normalization of the
normalization of the
anthropometry.
anthropometry.
That's what Sir was asking.
Sir was
And
asking.
what score
What
is it?
score
Is
is
it
it? Is it
25th
at 25th
percentile,
percentile,
50th
50th
percentile?
percentile?
It will be
It
between
will be
3
between
and
90
99.
and
So we
you have to be
Nutrition
careful.
is most important. That you follow these, that you follow nutrition. You said ADP,
Yes,
why ADP?
sir,
You
because
know that flat fats are
fats are
there.
the difference.
Okay. So you have to put the nutritionist just to see what all these levels are and how to be supplemented.
Yes,
Okay. Vitamin A, so that has to be taken care of in the pediatrician. One. Second one is you do an ultrasound, look at the liver, any signs of cirrhosis, and then yearly endoscopy. Endoscopy looks so
yes,
yeah?
yes, sir. Endoscopy to look for the esophageal varices. Yes, sir. Gastric
And most of these patients have already a borderline hypertension.
yes,
Borderline hypertension, borderline portal,
yes,
there will be although you give insulin, doctor problem. So it's not an easy game to change the nutrition course. So they require specialized formulas made for this patient. They have almost semi-elemental and elemental biology required. Special supplementary required. I think it's very important support for this. So because what time you want to say, when they are successful training by, they have manifestations of hypertension. There's a hypertension, always there is some amount of hypertension.
So how will you gauge that class when you see a 5-year-old doing very well, but is there any score which is private?
so
That is say that child is doing well or class conscious, there is score.
Karnofsky performance skill. Not sir. Sir, that is for malignancy. Sir. Karnofsky performance skill for malignancy, not here.
Okay, is that Ryan score? Is that pediatric score? Whether it's a
Pediatric end-stage liver disease score to assess the function of the liver.
depending upon the score, the child will require liver transplant.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
What are the long-term issues? Surveys looks into the
Yes, sir. So long-term growth issues and the and pubertal issues, sir. And recurrent if recurrent malignancy. Hepatocellular carcinoma. Hepatocellular carcinoma will be there because of constant retention of the bile. Visceral cirrhosis. Yes.
So now we learn now reports are also for hepatocellular carcinoma.
Reports are also
We have seen the first also.
First of all, first risk factor.
Yes.
This is the native liver, but I'm talking of the
First,
long-term you are looking for signs of hypertension. Other one has problems with nutrition.
other one is
Recurrent cholangitis. That is one which is worsened by
recurrent cholangitis.
then malformation. So I follow.
Annual follow.
Which could be with RSS report. Additional addition surgery
yes.
Liver has three functions. One is detoxification function.
Yes.
When you look at detoxification and then you put a score,
Yes.
you see liver also produces some hormones and enzymes.
Synthetic one.
Ah, So you also see at the cardiac.
Yes, sir.
And then
Liver
you
or
also
HP.
see metabolic process.
Yes, sir.
If you look at them, you also see
Metabolic.
If you look at the links between metabolic, you will immediately come to know that what the liver is.
Yes.
The whole pelt and melt score is about these three things, how the liver is functioning,
Yes.
right? And the nutrition.
Yes.
So if the scores are right, then he is a candidate for
Liver transplantation.
okay. Who devises the size?
Liver transplantation. Thomas Kasai supporter. Murray Kasai. One more. Yes, sir. Yeah, sir. He is from Japan.
Where is more advantages? Whether it is here or political system.
Sir, polytopic is the more incidence of collateral compared to biliary.
Most are who do surgery.
Yes, sir.
So you do diagnostic or other things.
Yes, sir.
Which surgeries they are more valuable? A successful Kasai is more common with this.
Successful
Or
Kasai.
a political system.
Sir, here successful Kasai will have the more chance of collateral because in success, because in polytopic cyst there is a existence of there won't be any bile stagnation will be there. So the chance of post polytopic cyst, chance of collateral will be less. But in successful Kasai there is a still the excretion is there, still there will be some microphone obstruction that leads to more chance of stasis.
It's a very low flow.
Low flow of the bile, which leads to cholangitis.
Yeah. It allows the bacteria to multiply.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not flushing out.
Yes.
Proper protocol says there is continuous bile flow.
Yes.
The washing of bacteria is not going to be.
Yes.
So always there is a successful Kasai, you are likely to have more chances of coming.
Yes.
Thank you.